Do what you love, and you'll never work a day in your life. A phrase we've all heard throughout our lives. And it's still true. In fact, it's even more true today. You will never work a day in your life. Because there seems to be no jobs at all.
Oh my god, bro.
Oh, hell no, man. What the fuck, man?
Because there seems to be no jobs at all. What? Especially for commercial artists. Decades ago, futurists dreamed of a time when computers would take over all the drudge work so that humans could be free to spend their time doing what they enjoy most. And for many people, this vision included an idea of creativity, writing poetry, composing music, and making art. But why are commercial artists seeing such a dip in employment? What is a commercial artist? What is commercial art? Will AI take over? What can humans provide for commercial art that AI cannot? Welcome to Cartoon Artwork. I'm Arty, and today we're gonna explore the most viewed pieces of art that influences everybody every single day. What even is commercial art? Commercial art is categorized as art that is created for reproduction, like in advertisements and marketing, in contrast with fine arts like painting and sculptures. Designers and artists who create it typically refer to it as communication design or as graphic design. And these are your graphic designers, illustrators, photographers, videographers, video editors, UI UXers, web designers, motion designers, etc. You get the idea. Art and advertising have always had a complicated relationship. Many of today's modern societies are essentially powered by the purchasing power of its citizens. Duh. They are constantly looking to increase sales through as many channels as they can, while using any method required to do so. This is where art comes in. This particular poster is an excellent example. Mooch's artwork subtly encourages lifestyle enhancements due to a simple product. Here, something as ordinary as a biscuit is transformed into something luxurious and spectacular, creating insatiable cravings in the viewer's head. Which leads us to pop art, which became a revolutionary movement that started in the early 1960s. It was based on images from popular culture, like those found in mass media, ads, and mass-produced cultural items. Ironically, pop art centered its attention on the ordinary and uninteresting elements of a culture that is dominated by consumerism. Andy Warhol's 1962 work, Campbell's Soup Cans, is among the most famous pieces of pop art. It consists of 32 pictures of Campbell's soup cans, one for each of the many flavors that are available. And with this work, Warhol took a widely consumed food item and transformed it into a work of art that everyone could enjoy. The consistency of popular mass culture, advertising, and art were becoming to be used interchangeably. But why is this important? Well, let me ask you a question. What is the one thing humans like yourselves cannot live without that is also highly used for profitability? Communication. And what happens if we stop communicating? Nothing. Literally nothing happens. The history of commercial art is significant because it shows how art has shaped societal trends and influenced consumerism, as well as how design and communication tactics have changed throughout time. Knowing this history enables us to evaluate the effectiveness of various marketing strategies, but also acknowledge the influence advertising has had on our lives. And lastly, fully understand the importance of visual culture in society. So what happens if we introduce something that can alter the way we communicate altogether? Like, for instance, AI. Well, concerns over the use of human labor in the creative processes may arise. And it may destroy established creative markets. By exploiting pre-existing works to promote new art, AI-generated art can also violate the intellectual property rights of artists and undermine the originality of creations by humans. It's happening right now. Artists are being accused of using AI by non-artists that can't tell the difference. It doesn't matter how much evidence these artists even show, because it can be faked with AI too. The AI art tools remix old work into something new by using pattern recognition technologies, rather than assisting the artists in their creative process. This is a problem. It's not being used alongside artists, it's being used against them. It's stopping artists from even being considered for jobs. AI art generators can't fully replace human artists right now. But that doesn't mean it isn't still devaluing human art all the same. Not everyone who calls themselves an artist makes a living off of their work or aims to sell art online, but plenty do. Are clients choosing AI over human illustrators? Many designers worry clients will use generative AI rather than hiring human artists. And in some cases, that is absolutely true. There are clients out there who, with little or no budget or respect, will cobble together images using AI and be satisfied with the results, even if the results aren't even good. And it's also because they're no longer working with professionals, which is like the whole point in the first place. Getting something done by a professional because you don't have the skills to do it yourself. Did I mention how AI is not a professional?
Bruh.
By the way, AI is not a professional. AI artists produce their work by giving instructions to a machine. That is the extent of their contribution to a machine's original design, regardless of whether they decide to alter the output that it produces. I mean, if you go to a restaurant and order food, can you still call yourself a chef, even if you rearrange what's on the plate? No. You don't know what you're doing. You're the consumer. On the other hand, traditional and digital painters basically begin on a blank canvas. They must acquire the skills and equipment necessary to make art, practice for hours on end, and then apply all their acquired knowledge to transform an idea into something that people would like to view. Furthermore, the two types of creative processes differ from one another, gravely. To suggest that they aren't different is a major source of anger for most artists and raises some very significant ethical issues.
Can a robot write a symphony? Can a robot turn a canvas into a beautiful masterpiece?
Can you?
Oh! Somebody! Oh! He needs some milk!
No artist is born with the ability to produce works of art. Some may argue this point, but my childhood drawings will settle that score once and for all. To get to the point where they can regularly produce works of art they're proud of, everyone interested in creating art must invest time in learning, practicing, studying, and generally honing their craft. Art created by AI throws all of this work and effort into a bleak light. The value of hard labor decreases when it can be produced with a simple prompt rather than hours of effort. And this is detrimental to artists because it can make it much more difficult for them to get paid a living wage and to feel that their labor is worthwhile. Imagine you've spent your whole life learning mathematical equations and formulas, only for a person with a calculator to take your job. Ouch. I mean, this is why we don't feel the need to be mathematicians anymore. Now imagine being an artist trying to find a job.
Bruh. Bruh. Bruh.
And if it lowers the worth of the artist, doesn't AI also lower the impact the art and design has on society too? All of a sudden, no one is paying any attention to advertisements and marketing strategies. Because, well, for one, no one knows what to believe. They don't know if what they're seeing has any worth. If it's not made by a human, is it even worth interacting with? Does art need to be created by humans to make sense? Well, we need art to be human, because it's one of the ways we can effectively communicate, right? Oh, but art is subjective. So can't AI art also be subjective? If yes, then should we just let AI do all the work for the artist? I mean, there won't be much of a difference, right? Anyone that thinks like this has no idea how much the repetitive nature of creating art means to an artist. It's almost always integral to the journey. Let's get one thing straight. Artists have never hated the repetitiveness. They've hated being exploited for it. I'm sure mathematicians felt the same way at some point. Now, what about the CocaCola ad from November 2024? It was fully created using AI. Billion-dollar company, by the way, and this is the best they could come up with. And everyone that has seen it has just one question.
I have a lot of questions. Number one, how dare you?
This ad looks more like a bad hallucination than a real-life scenario. Who are they trying to fool? Do companies really want to kill jobs for this? Here's the thing though. Coca-Cola didn't lose any money. So it does call into question if its profitability did not change because of its nostalgic artistic history that was clearly being used by AI, or because nowadays people don't need to look at an ad to buy Coca-Cola. I mean, if they keep this up, maybe they will lose money in the future. So what are the ethical issues surrounding AI? Well, here's what the founder of Midjourney, David Halls, has to say. I think that some people will try to cut artists out. They will try to make something similar at a lower cost. And I think they will fail in the market. I think the market will go towards higher quality, more creativity. Because it is not showing you an image based on emotions and personal connections or even skills. It's scanning through hundreds of artworks and images, unethically of course, and it's showing you an image it's pieced together according to your prompt. The more elaborate the prompt, the more elaborate the image will be. I mean, at this point, prompts might even become a coding language themselves. Jason Juan, a veteran art director and artist, seems to be quite indifferent to AI. On the business side, we need some clarity around copyright before using AI-generated work instead of work by a human artist. The problem is the current copyright law is outdated and is not keeping up with the technology. Now, where artists that are still very much in the field, like fantasy artist Greg Rutkowski, sounds a lot like us when he says, "I understand how these programs use artwork and images to build their models, but there should be some protection for living artists. Those of us who are still doing work and advancing our careers. It's more than an ethical issue. It should be regulated by law. And it should be our choice." I mean, hell, sounds like we need to get some political support on the matter. No, not him. Okay, he's already putting tariffs on Hollywood. Stop. Find someone else. What about accountability? When an AI-based decision maker is used and a malfunctioning system or accident occurs, the accountability issue comes up. And if something goes horribly wrong with AI, who can we blame? Who can we sue? The AI? Can you even sue something that isn't even a legal person? AI is not perfect right now, and it's more likely to make more mistakes than humans, because it relies on often incomplete or inaccurate data. I mean, you are what you eat. The question is, if the AI system makes a mistake, who will be responsible? The AI itself? The owner? The programmer? Or the user? The AI system might be entirely to blame at times. In other situations, the AI system's creators or users may bear some or all of the blame. It can be challenging to assign blame for an AI error, and legal professionals may be needed to assess responsibility on an individual basis. Without a clear connection between human error and AI, it might be challenging to hold people accountable. But I'll tell you one thing, this is not the time to give up. On the contrary, it's the perfect time to present our case as something that needs to be taken seriously. Because if this continues, it's not just gonna erase human creativity, but it'll also change the way we see design and communication. It's already taking away jobs in an already oversaturated job market. The time to take a stand is now. AI is here, and it's here to stay. But that doesn't mean that it's time for you to go away. Thank you so much for listening. If you've been feeling under the weather about this whole sucky job market, trust me, you are not alone. And maybe you know someone else that needs to hear that. So why don't you go and like and share this video. Hit the bell icon for notifications, and feel free to comment down below. And subscribe. As always, good luck with your art.